Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tashima Rollins. I will be your host this evening. Thank you guys for all coming out from your busy schedules to be with us today. We have quite a few things that we want to share with you, our achievement, our community engagement pieces, the dedication, and the commitment that we've been working so hard as an administration. So first, we want to just put our hands together and thank our administration and thank our amazing mayor. So put your hands together. Tonight is an opportunity for us to come together to celebrate our process, our progress, and strengthen the partnerships that help us move forward as a community. We are a city in motion, and we appreciate everything you do, and we are so grateful to share this moment with you. So with further ado, we would like to bring up our amazing Madam Mayor Galinda McDonald.
Good evening, and thank you to everyone who came out today. I know there was some mix-up in times, but it was switched and changed to make sure that we were on the right time. 6 o'clock is the time that we had scheduled. I don't know how it got to be 7, but I'm glad you're here. So I'm not going to stand up here today long at all because this is the time you get to hear from my great administration. They have been working hard all year. I don't care what nobody else says. I know this to be true. They have been putting in the work. They have been taking the time. They have been meeting with people over and over again. They have been asking questions and allowing you to ask questions. So I want to make sure that you know that they're working hard, and that they get to tell you what they've done and what they plan on doing. So with that, like I said, I'm not going to stand up here very long at all. I want to introduce some of my staff that's here already. Starting on the end, I will start with our amazing Fire Chief, Patrick Payne. Our beautiful senior coordinator, right there, Sonia Davenport. Our brilliant lawyer, George Contis. Oh, the hardest working man in the city, who gets all the flack but does all the work, and we appreciate him very, very much. He's like, who? Damon Garrett. And the one that does the most creative things and coming up with all of the plans and planning for our future, making sure that we have people who are ready to develop, ready to make sure that the grounds are covered and our land is sold, and everything that we need to do to get this city moving. Carlton Clyburn, Jr. Let me throw that junior in there. On this end over here, sitting in for our wonderful police chief who could not be here today for emergency purposes, is his person, Everett Monroe, Officer Everett Monroe. And, why is this moving? Is it moving? Okay. And my right hand, and sometimes my left hand, who works me a lot, Ms. Tashima Rollins, who is my chief of staff / assistant, executive assistant. So I do have some people just walked in over here that I see. Also, y'all, I don't know why I have to introduce her, but everybody know who she is, and that's our city administrator, Kathy Square. She's coming in. Let me see, make sure I didn't. We have our IT person right there, and I want to make sure that he knows how important he is for all of this that he's setting up right now. We are broadcasting on, is it YouTube? YouTube, and making sure that everybody who didn't get to come in here get to see it. You know what I'm saying? So please give a round of applause, y'all. He's also our IA person, and that's internal affairs. So he's doing 2 roles, making sure that we are staying in compliance with what we do in investigations and as well as our IT. Okay? I'm going to also introduce our other team of engineers. In the back, stand up. Stand up. Thank you, Jerry and Brantley. Andrew is here. Kayla is here. And my beautiful team of officers sitting in the back right here, please stand up. Police, stand up. You too, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you. And then the wonderful firefighters that you see in the back there, please stand up. Thank you so much. So I want to introduce some of our elected officials that's here. First, starting with the state elected official, our state senators, Stephanie Chang, our school board member, Janice Spike White, our school board member, Doris Harris, and I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody that's elected. Okay. So thank you all, like I said, for taking time to come out and hear what's going on in Highland Park. I have some great news to share. Just this past Saturday, and I'm just going to make a few announcements after that too. This past Saturday, Officer Monroe and myself, was it this Saturday just passed, right? Had an opportunity to have a tour, present a tour of our city to Congresswoman Haley Stevens. And as you know, and Haley Stevens is running for our U.S. Senator to replace Gary Peters. So I didn't have to call her, she called me. She wanted to see what Highland Park was doing and what they can do to help us, and that's what I appreciate that. So they got a good view of Highland Park, they got a chance to come and see what is really going on, and I appreciate that. So that was this Saturday, just passed. Also, this Saturday, if you know someone who needs food, please send them to the Justice Center, the Highland Park Justice Center, between 10 and 2 on Saturday. We will be passing out food, supplemental food, to residents who need it. Now, I know people's like, oh, I heard somebody in the grocery store, like, I got my SNAP benefits now, I'm good. Well, we don't know how long that's gonna last, so please send somebody, if you know who's in need, to come and pick up food. We've been collecting food for the last 2 weeks, and we've been blessed. We've had a lot of people donate, and we appreciate those people who have donated. Also, we have been collecting toys in our stuffer squad car, and so we still need toys. Please, if you know somebody, one toy, just one if you have to. We like more, but one toy. And it would go to the Christmas in the Park, the Parker Pride Foundation, Rehab Highland Park, in partnership with the City of Highland Park. We'll be having the Christmas in the Park again. And so we need toys for the children. And if you know somebody who want to donate toys, tell them all they have to do between the hours of operation, Monroe, what is it, 8:30 to 4:30? Yes. Okay. Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. And on Saturday, it's 12 to 6. Is it Sunday? 12 to 6. So you could come and put toys in the car. It will be unlocked. All you do is walk up, put them in there, and close the door. So for those listening on YouTube and wherever else, please, please, please donate a toy. All right, okay, and so in comes our DVW supervisor, Kim Redmond. Please clap for Kim Redmond, y'all. These guys are out here working very, very, very hard. They're working as hard as they can with the crew that they have. I appreciate them. I don't care who says anything about them. I will go 10 toes down. They are doing what they can with the people that they have. And for those who think they're not, I don't know what else to say to you. Join in and help out if you can, because we only got so many. All right, with that said, I'm going to get ready to turn it back over to our host and let her start the program. All right? Okay.
First, we want to start with the legal department. So legal department, if you want to come on up.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm George Contis. I'm one of the city attorneys on staff. At least once, twice a week, there is someone from the city attorney's office here at City Hall, either in the morning or in the afternoon, conducting business on behalf of the city's administration. Typically, it's Michael Bosnick, my colleague, or it's myself. He's here more often than I am, but just because I'm not here doesn't mean I'm not doing things on behalf of the city. The same goes for our other city attorneys, John Clark, Ann Gabbert, Anthony Chubb, Michael Bosnick, who I've just mentioned, and our newest attorney, Megan Plotz. We also have our legal assistant here in the city all the time, Ms. Adrienne Brinkley, and our assistant city attorney, Tomandra Wilkerson, who handles things in the district court on the city's behalf. Well, you know, you sometimes wonder, as a city or as a resident in a city, what does a legal department do? Well, we have multiple functions, okay? First, we advise and defend the officers and employees of the city in the course of their employment. We prosecute charter and ordinance violations, and that's what Tomandra does almost all the time in district court. We review contracts and other documents related to city affairs. We review them and we approve them. Same thing with resolutions. We obtain resolutions, or staff provides us with resolutions for the board to consider, for the council to consider at its meetings, and we review and sign off on the resolutions, and then they're presented to council for consideration. We review and respond to property damage claims against the city. That's something that I want to put an emphasis on. If you think you've been wronged or by something that the city did, there is a process in place for you to seek redress with the city, and we have claim forms and what have you. The important thing is to detail the information. If you send me information, and I will be the person who will end up reviewing it, and it's incomplete, I'm going to send you a letter or an email telling you I'm not doing anything until you provide me with a list of the following information. And just because you provide the information doesn't mean you're going to get a free ride and the city is automatically going to grant your request. No, it's going to be thorough, and if we believe that the city was wrong, we will make a recommendation to council or we will offer a settlement. If we don't, we won't, and we'll tell you why we don't. We're also the keeper of legal records. That's just something that we need to do, something that as a municipality the city needs to maintain, and that's what we hope to do. What are some of the concerns that we've had over the years with respect to things in the city? It's prior record retention and disposal practices. Retaining records, keeping it, they don't have to be kept on paper, but there needs to be a retention process. We have oversight of municipal operations from a liability perspective. We review threatened financial harm to the city and its residents from inherited litigation. We advise citizens to be vigilant and how to avoid property scams and buying properties not owned by their sellers. This has become a big issue, and people, it is important. Do not believe someone when they offer you a property for sale in the city and say they own it. Never take anyone at their word. There are scammers everywhere. Make sure you do minimum diligence, which means getting a title commitment ordered. Yes, they cost money, but it is more important to spend a few pennies in relation to thousands and thousands of dollars that you're going to invest in a property that you find out your seller never owned. So it's very important that you do that. We also want to make sure that we make property owners and operators accountable for their actions. What does that mean? That means blight, graffiti, things of that nature. We want to make sure that we bring this city back to prominence and clean the city up along the way as new development comes in. And it's very important, and we hope that the citizens support what it is that we do in that regard. One of the other things that is important is for residents to understand that and I'm giving you guys a little sneak peek into what's going to be happening between now and the end of the year. On my desk are at least a dozen letters going to residents in the city who have decided to expand their properties by putting fences around property that they don't own. And the property that they don't own is owned by the city. And so, to that end, people in YouTube land, people are here. People who may have decided to expand their boundaries and not pay for what they've acquired, reckoning day is coming. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't, when we send the letter and you don't remove it, it may be removed for you and you'll be cited in court. One thing you need to remember, squatters' rights and adverse possession don't apply to municipalities. If the city owns it, you're not entitled to operate and use it without our consent. So, to the 12 residents and operators in the city who are engaged in that activity, and this is just the beginning, this is just the top 12, notice is coming. So please govern yourselves accordingly. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you to our amazing legal department. Next, we have our fire department.
Sorry. Hello, I'm the fire chief, Pat Payne. Start off with a preview. I don't know if I got a follow by. Anyway, start off with our accomplishments of the fire department for this year so far. Is number one, we obtained a steamer, hydrant steamer they call it, put it over so we can thaw out frozen hydrants to help with firefighting during the wintertime. We did that in February. Sometime in March, we obtained a brand new pickup truck, utility truck. On top of getting that, about a week after we obtained that truck to help us, we needed to assist the mayor's office and the city with water distribution when we had some water main breaks, and it was instrumental on helping with passing out water to the citizens. That was 3. Number 4, in May we obtained not brand new, but we obtained a new fire truck for us. We purchased a fire truck from the Schwartz Creek Fire Department. It's used, but it's new to us, and it definitely was needed. Let's see. Check my notes. Along with the mayor's office, we instrumented a plan where we started passing out fire blankets to the citizens, along with smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. I need to make a PSA that if you obtained one of these fire blankets, it's for your kitchen. It's to smother a kitchen fire on your stove, not to wrap up and wait for the fire department to rescue in a house fire. We can get a lot of questions about that. Along with passing out the fire blankets, we participated in an open house for Fire Prevention Week, and also in assistance with the rec center here, we performed a haunted house and trunk or treat on Halloween. I think that's it. One more? Oh, that's right. Also, our EMS service, AmeriPro in the city, we went into a project with them to where they will be providing community CPR program on, I think it's once or twice a month at the fire station. Any resident or anybody can come to the fire station and learn CPR for free. That's the end of our accomplishments for this year so far, and we switch to the fire department itself. Just like we say every year, the fire department is small. We have 25 full-time firefighters at this time. We operate 3 fire trucks. Yes, ma'am? 3 fire trucks and 1 ladder truck. We also have 5 support vehicles, one of them that brand new pickup truck I was talking about. At the time of this writing, we were at 974 runs. Last year was our busiest year ever. We did over 1,000. I think it was like 1,012, 1,020. At this point, I think today we are at 980. So this might be the busiest year we've had. We will definitely surpass last year's. The top of the accomplishments, we've been having issues with a lot of people asking or inquiring about having a mutual aid with Detroit. And I thought that I should bring up that we do have a mutual aid both with Detroit and the city of Hamtramck. It's a mutual aid agreement where they will come into the city and help us on fires, and we will go to their city and help them on fires. So we do have a mutual aid agreement. I talked about the fire trucks. The last one is we just currently, recently, are going to be in a collaboration with the Public Relations Department where we'll be putting on PSA videos on Instagram, I do believe it is. Oh, yes, December 3rd? 6th. December 6th is the tree lighting ceremony and party, and the fire department is participating. We will be supplying the Santa Claus. He'll be riding into town on the fire truck, and bring your kids. Everybody come. And that's it for the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you, Fire Department. And I do want to reiterate that we do have a Q&A at the end. So make sure that if you have a question, make sure that you go to the sign-in table. There's a little card that you can get, write that question down and put it in the jar, okay? Okay. The next is our Police Department.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm standing in for Chief McMahon, who is dealing with his grandmother, who's 90 years old and facing some health difficulties, and we certainly pray for her healing and restoration and speedy recovery. I want to acknowledge all the appointed and elected officials that are here today and the citizens who are in the building, as well as those who are online. I bring you greetings from the Highland Park Police Department. We're definitely proud to be a part of your city and be the family and sit with you all, and some of us have conversations with you all. We definitely enjoy that. So we are continuing our crime suppression. The Highland Park Police has discovered a slight uptick in crime, violent crime, but they are typically the low levels, the aggression, the domestic violence, things of that nature. And we realize that those are controlled, and what I mean by controlled is that they are typically, relatives or, husband, wife, boyfriend, spouse, that type of thing. So we continue to engage in the efforts for crime suppression. I do want to point out that over 2024 and 25, we have recovered 129 firearms that we've taken off the streets. They are scheduled to be destroyed so that they don't go back on the streets. And some of those are from traffic stops, some of them are search warrants, various ways that we have recovered those, and we're very proud of that because 129 firearms is a lot of guns. A lot can happen with one, and we typically see that one weapon may have several crimes across the state connected to it. So to be able to take 129 off with a small department, that's great work. We continue to work with the local, state, and federal agencies when we are conducting investigations. Sometimes we will send things federally because there will be more time associated with it. Sometimes the feds will say, hey, if you charge it on the state level or the local level, you all will receive more time based upon red tape and different things of that nature. So we typically work with each other to make sure that when we do the work, we get the most out of the deal and that those who are committing crimes are taken off the streets as long as we can. We also like to welcome Maximilian Gabriel and Officer Kenesha Bass to our department. Officer Bass graduated from the Oakland Police Academy this past October, and we certainly welcome them here, and we are excited for the work that they'll be doing and the contributions. Officer Gabriel's not here. He works the opposite shift, and Officer Bass will be coming on in just about 30 minutes. So we certainly welcome them, and if you see them, extend your support to them as well. We continue our community engagement, and we also would like to acknowledge the Chaplain Corps, who they are really instrumental in attending some of these events that are sponsored by you all, the citizens, and they're there. They show their support. They're doing whatever they can to fill in those gaps. So we definitely acknowledge them as well. This past September, in an effort to commit to our officers as far as officer resiliency and making sure that the officers are well, both mentally and physically, we had a Officer Wellness and Resiliency Day. It was a 2-day event so that all officers had the opportunity to participate. So we had crisis care counselors, as well as they had massage therapists that day. They had food. We had some team building things. We played laser tag, painted, just a way to reset, which is really needed because officers experience a lot. And typically, the officers don't get a chance to offload that stuff like they really should, and it becomes unhealthy, and it trickles into their personal lives, and there's long-term damage that's associated with it. So these types of events help to mitigate those types of experiences. Again, we partnered up with the mayor and the toy drive. It's one big toy drive. We just have a better box to put things in. 10 to 7, Monday through Friday at the Justice Center. For those of you who may not know, the Justice Center is at Hamilton and Waverly. You can put your toys or your contributions right into the scout car. And Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 6. We're also having another one-day hiring event, which was a success. We continue to seek to employ those so that we can fill the spots and give officers a break. So that is December 12th from 9 to 4. It'll be here at the rec center. And lastly, we encourage you all to stay vigilant. If you see something, let us know. You're not bothering us. You can give us a call. You can call 911, but let us know. We don't know if you don't tell us. I missed something? Oh, I'm sorry. All right, so we thank the mayor for her continued support for the police department. She's always there. She does things that are very mayor-like, and she does things that, one would say, oh, the mayor shouldn't be doing that. But she's out with us, and she's in the trenches with us, and we certainly appreciate the support. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Before she comes back up, I have to apologize to you guys because I missed someone who was very important in this administration, because she likes to do everything and want to be everywhere instead of sitting where she's supposed to be, so I didn't see her. So please, 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 please give a round of applause for our rec department director, Sue Narander. Also, one of our elected officials snuck in on us. Please give it up for our state rep, Tanya Meyer Phillips. Okay. Now we can proceed.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we do have Parks and Recreation.
I wasn't hiding. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ernest T. Ford Fieldhouse. This is my home. DPW said that they're going to put a cot upstairs for me because we spent so much time here. But it's a pleasure to be here and serve the community, which is a part of our mission statement. We're here to provide services for the seniors, the adults, and the youth. And we look to you to let us know what you want and what you need. We host health fairs. Last week we had the Wayne County Mobile Tax Unit. There's a really big push right now for our seniors to be able to age in place. So we're working with the county on taxes and setting up payment schedules. We're working with the state and other local organizations to provide funding to keep seniors in their homes with little simple things that we don't even think of, just guardrails and bars in your shower. So if anyone is in need of that, feel free to come up here. We always have information. We're here to assist you, and we continue to try to do these programs to make things better for the citizens here in Highland Park. We've had several accomplishments, small ones. For example, we work with State Detroit to do a small little renovation at Mulford or Glendale Park. It's an aging community there. Most of them own their homes, and they wanted something simple and quiet. So we just put some benches in and put a book nook and did a cleanup, and it looks wonderful. We also partnered with a lot of our Adopt a Park organizations. We did cleanup and plantings here. We did some work over at Casey, and we did some work over at Storn. And so we're continuing to get with community groups as Adopt a Park partners so we can continue to keep our parks usable for the residents. Our largest accomplishment was our Spark grant funding. We're receiving close to $1 million to do upgrades and amenities here at Ives Field or in Reggie McKenzie Field. We have gone out to bid for those. We've selected our contractors. We're waiting for the contracts to go to council, and we're looking to break ground in early spring. So hopefully by next summer, we'll have updated baseball diamonds. We'll have a playscape here for the youth. We have our stage, so all of that. We have a pickleball court coming. So we'll have a lot of amenities here that'll kind of start bringing everything to make this a large complex for the citizens. Our programming is getting bigger by the day. There's some days that we actually have to use the locker room for a classroom because we're trying to offer a lot of different classes. We have regular open gyms, we have chess, we have drones, we have dance class. We partnered with a group to do bicycle fixing so the youth can fix their bikes and be able to use the greenway. We were looking for donated bikes and then found out that most of them had one, but they didn't know how to repair it. So we did bike safety, we did the repairs, and we're looking to partner with the Joe Louis Greenway to start doing some programming. We're not an actual trailhead on the Greenway, but the way that the center is situated right by and on the Greenway, it's almost like a natural trailhead. So we are developing a partnership with the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership. Our first event we're looking to do in January with them. So we're looking to provide a lot of different programs with their support to kind of let people see that the importance of the Greenway to the city and to the economy, and to make things accessible, not just in Highland Park, but to other areas of Detroit and Hamtramck. Okay. We would like to continue to expand our Adopt a Park program. It's very important for us since our budgets are limited, and we do want to be able to provide usable green space to our citizens, and that we do through partnerships in our Adopt a Park program. We're continuing to seek grants to keep doing our upgrades. There's no capital funding in our budget, so everything that we accomplish at our parks is done through grant funding or donations. So we're continuing to work hard to do that, and we're going to continue to work hard for the citizens to be able to provide you with whatever we can do to make your lives more comfortable and make our community a better place. So thank you.
Next, we have our senior department.
Hello, Highland Park. I am Sonia Davenport. I am the senior coordinator for this city. And this year we had a year of health, learning, friendship for our Highland Park seniors. We partnered with Hannon Center, and we spent our summer at Hannon Center, which was really great. We had the Smart Bus pick the seniors up from their home, and we went to Hannon Center 3 times a week. We did chair exercise, we did art therapy, and we did art galleries. So we toured the whole art gallery down there, and we are looking to do an art show with our seniors on what they've been doing in art therapy. It's been a great, great, great program for them. We have done promoting with our emotional wellness with the Hannon Center. We've done the health and mobility with the low pack chair exercise, and that's here also now that we're back here this winter. It's here on Thursdays from 11 to 12. You can come and do chair exercise. On Tuesdays, you can come and do art therapy. We do have food now. We have the congregate meals, and that's our food and friendship. So we feed on average of 10 to 20 seniors a day, which is really great. And if you actually bring your container, you can take some food home. So we are keeping our seniors fed. We have pickleball on Mondays, and that is going great. We have digital learning where we are teaching with we partnered with the St. Pat Center, and we teach the seniors how to use their cell phones, tablets, and mobile phones. And we had 3 seniors come in today. They got new phones, and they came in today to learn how to work their iPhones. So that was pretty great. We have done the virtual learning with them, where they come in, they put the goggles on, and they do virtual learning. That we are having a little issue with. They don't really understand it, and it's a little scary for them, but we're still trying it with them. We have created a very good social connection for the seniors here. It's as though as long as they come here, we're able to grasp what they need. So we helped with the My Hope grant program with the Michigan State, and we got 20 seniors grants for their homes. They got roofing, they got porches, they got weatherization. So we did great with that. As far as the nutrition, we work with DAAA with that, and anybody 60 and older can get the meals. We are working on 2025, 2026 goals. We are looking for reliable transportation for our seniors. That seems to be our #1 issue. We do have SMART, and SMART gets the seniors around the city of Highland Park, and it'll get the seniors to any other suburb, but not Detroit. It won't get them, and most of the things they want to do is in Detroit. So we are definitely looking for transportation options for our seniors. We are looking to host a health and wellness fair, which will promote preventative care. So we have partnered with WellCare and a dedicated medical center for that. So hopefully that goes off early spring in 2026. And we want to expand our partnership with funding. We want to get more grants in so that the seniors can do more and have more. And I just want to thank all of my senior volunteers over there. They are great. They come in and serve the meals every day, and I couldn't do it without them. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Highland Park, for allowing me to be the senior coordinator. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our DPW department.
Yes, how you doing today? My name is Kim Redman. I'm a DPW supervisor, trying to keep the city clean. We have been cleaning the city, cutting grass. We did pretty good with the grass, I think, this year. Had good equipment, got some new equipment. We short staffed, but we did real good. So that's what we, and now we doing alleys, cleaning up the alleys, lots, serving up the lots, and yeah. So, huh? Yeah, yeah, So we, you're right. We would like y'all to help us. If you see something as far as people dumping and stuff, we'd like for you to call police or call me. I have numbers that I could give y'all to call. You see somebody dumping or something. And we're going to be cleaning up. We concentrating on cleaning up Woodward, Hamilton, Manchester, cleaning the sidewalks, getting the weeds off the curves and stuff like that, and spraying. We're going to be spraying the alleys and trying to cut the overgrowth up and down the streets. And we're going to be trying to put new signs up. I done ordered some signs so we can put up on the streets that we don't have signs. And that's about it. Good job. Yes. Yes, we been cleaning as much as we can in the alleys, but behind your garage or your fence line, if you could cut the bushes or trees, and if you have anything that you really want to like to throw away, because we've been going up and down the alley, if you put it in the middle of the alley, we will get it up. Call us, let us know that you're going to be throwing it out, and we will get it up. Yeah, so that's about it. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I see hands. If you have any questions, again, you can put it in the sign-in sheet over there. The jar, you can put the question in there, and we'll get to it at the end of the night, okay? The next, we have the Community Economic Development Department.
Good evening. Good evening, Highland Park. Yeah, we've been hearing some good stuff tonight, so I'm going to continue it on. I'm Carlton Clyburn. I'm the Director for Community and Economic Development for the City of Highland Park. First, I'm going to introduce my department. We got Kalinda Powell-Watkins. She holds the department together. Anybody call, set appointments, that's our point person. Kalinda, she's doing a great job. We got Najee Malone, Officer Malone back there. Everyone loves Najee. You see him out, make sure you give him a high five. Doing a great job out there. We have McKenna in now. They act as our planning and building department. So we got Donovan Smith. Can you stand, Donovan? That's a principal planner for the City of Highland Park. You see Donovan, but Donovan really got a whole crew. So I flood them with information to help Highland Park move forward. So thank you, Donovan. We also have Sam Woodrick. He is over the building department. So give it up to Sam. Our building department has been doing a great job. They came in, and I believe the transition was a nice, smooth transition. Sometimes people are not happy when they hear from the building department, but you have to understand and be patient because we're building for the future. So it's not personal attacks. It's not personal at you. Everyone receives letters, and you have to communicate with the building department because records and information are not always accurate. So if you receive something that's not accurate, instead of, taking it the wrong way, just call the building department. They will work with you. We have Jennifer Cummings and Vonda Hollins. Vonda, can you stand up? Newest addition. Give it up for Vonda. She came in and she got acclimated, but her and Jennifer are doing a great job handling the window, taking calls, working with residents, and working with developers. That's the department. I can't forget Don. Yeah, Don, that's our building inspector. And he out here terrorizing folks like we like it. Next slide. So I had a slide prepared where I was going to talk about vision and missions and all that stuff, but what I really want to do is I want to do a quick crash course on what CED is. Because I'm asked so many times, like, what is community economic development? What is it, what is it, what is it? So we got a quick master class, and we're just going to use the words. So community, that's us, that's Highland Park. And would you say, Mayor McDonald, we are one community, right? Economics. Economics is the flow of money, okay? But when you're talking about money when it comes to the municipality, you're talking about money, resources, stable homes, services, all the things that come with strong money with communities that's generating it. So we put it together, it's pretty much developing the flow of money and resources into the city of Highland Park. So everybody's an expert now, right? No questions on CED. Everybody, CED, that's what it is. We are developing the flow of money and resources into the city of Highland Park. It's a lot to it, but that's the master class. The goal is to create a stronger, more resilient local economy where businesses thrive, jobs are plentiful and pay well, property values rise, residents have opportunity to improve their lives, and we grow the tax base to provide better public services. Everybody wants better public services, and when you develop the flow of money into the community, we could be able to provide better sources of resources and services and everything that come with it. Why does that matter to Highland Park? It expands revenue for city services again. And that's key, that's important. When you come into a city, you're paying your taxes, you live in there, you're raising your family there, you want the best services possible. So when you increase the economy, we're able to provide better services. It also stabilizes neighborhoods. Right now you see a lot of vacant neighborhoods, there's blighted houses. What we want to do is we want to stabilize the neighborhoods and put us in a position to grow our neighborhoods, to attract new development, to strengthen small businesses. And small businesses are the backbone of communities, especially communities like the city of Highland Park. So we're looking to bring in resources to strengthen those local small businesses. We want to reduce unemployment and reduce poverty. So we got to bring in money and resources because these are the things that we've been up against, and these are the things that we're looking to battle and move through. And it also builds long-term community wealth, sustainability. So all of these factors go into building a sustainable future for the city of Highland Park, for the residents, for the children, for the businesses, for the visitors. Some of the duties of the department is sale of city-owned properties, planning functions, building permitting and inspections, coordinate site plan reviews, demo of blighted and unsafe structures, managing CDBG funds, managing rezoning requests, housing rehab programs, code enforcement, blight elimination, and brownfield development. So we talked about the department, but we also have boards and commissions that help us move these initiatives forward. We have the Planning Commission, which meets the second Wednesday of every month at 5:30 at the fire station. All of these boards meet at the fire station. We have the commissioners are Paul Motley, Barbara Willis, Cleophas Pye, Tisha Bursey, and Beverly Jordan. We also have a zoning board of appeals, and they meet the second Thursday of every month at 5:30. And the ZBA is this quasi-judicial body, so it acts as a court that hears and decides questions that arise in the administration of the zoning ordinance. The board members of that are Ken Bates, Chris Woodard, Jamal Thomas, Beverly Jordan, and Kimberly McDade. We also had a TIFA board, which is the Tax Increment Finance Authority, and they meet the third Tuesday of every month at 5:30. Those board members are Leslie Robinson, Casey Jackson, Scott Boswell, Bishop V. Ricardo Thomas, Chris Woodard, and Trevor Sarter. They also act as our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. So all of these boards meet at the fire station. If you haven't already, if you're not receiving text messages or emails, make sure you go to the website, and sign up for them because we post, you see what's on the agenda. So these boards are very important. And I appreciate all the board members and the commissioners because they're volunteering, but all of these boards are state mandated, so these are the things that we need to move the city forward. You really got to pay attention to the ZBA and the Planning Commission because those are where most of your public hearings are going to be. So when we do community engagement, the public hearings, the ones that's not at council meeting, but they're at the Planning Commission. And we do have public hearings a lot with the Planning Commission and the ZBA. So what we've done year to date, we did a little bit. We working hard. Like I said, we got a good group of folks. We got a great boards, great commission. So with all of that, we've sold 19 vacant residential lots. We brought in $9,500. We're gonna talk economics. We had an auction, sold 7 out of 7 houses. We brought in $58,850. We have 25 offers to purchase in queue for a total of 52 parcels. We've collected fees of $1,350, and if these properties are successfully sold, that's $135,420. That's just what we collect. There's another side of that I'm gonna talk about a little later. For development, we got the Joe Louis Greenway under construction. It's near completion. It's already of investment over $20 million into that project. And there's a lot of excitement around that project. The city of Highland Park, you can ask anybody involved, the piece that's in Highland Park is their most important piece. It's a Detroit-owned project, but the piece that's in Highland Park is the most important. So what we're doing as a department, as a city, is we're making sure that we're going to leverage and take advantage of that for economic opportunities. We got demolition efforts underway. We have 64 structures that's owned by Highland Park. 62 is owned by the county. We've been working on this with the county. We've made a lot of traction. Now that the federal government is open again, I did receive some emails from the county saying that they're about to get started. So I know we've been talking about it. You've been calling, you've been emailing. We know we've had these properties there. Be on the lookout. Stuff is about to start getting clear. We're working on our ordinances to strengthen our ordinance. So we want to make sure that we have our muni codes online. So you can go online and see what ordinances that's on the books that we are enforcing. Also, we have a new graffiti ordinance that we just adopted. And we've already targeted, we got letters going out. Right now we are targeting Woodward, Hamilton, the business areas to get that cleaned up. We're working on a blight ordinance and like a administrative hearing bureau, which will help us to better enforce what Officer Malone is doing. Right now, like I say, he's doing a great job. We're meeting regularly with the court, the legal department, and everybody involved so we can make sure that we are doing the work so that we can properly enforce these negligent property owners to clean the city up. Legal department already talked about work to reclaim city-owned, privately occupied parcels. And I'm gonna just take one more step into that. What that means is, people are occupying city property and not paying taxes, and we are also paying the water bill. And we know how we feel about that. So, like George, he kind of made a nice threat, so I'm not gonna go more into it, but those things will be rectified. We're also putting together a phase 1 nuisance abatement program. We're targeting 13 entities for a total of 19 properties. And again, those properties that are on Woodward and Hamilton. Large buildings that's just been sitting, speculating, gaining graffiti and blight. People living in them. So we worked with the legal department on that. Last year, we talked about the state treasury and the state land bank helping support Highland Park by helping us bring on McKenna and the planning department. So some of the planning efforts I'm gonna talk about is from that money. So Our capital improvement program plan, that should be done in February. We've been working with the departments, getting a sense of what we need as a city for capital improvements by department. Our economic development strategy, the draft is ready. We're doing an internal review. We'd like to get that adopted next month, take it to council, and that would be the plan where we shape our future. So now from that plan, we can look at funding sources and how we really, we're going to do some things with the master plan. But we feel like the state, the steering committee, that we need a plan. We can't just develop aimlessly. So we have a great economic development strategy. It'll be followed up by improvements to the master plan. We're working to complete a diagnostic for the zoning ordinance, zoning map, all of these things to help move the economics in the city of Highland Park. So again, if you're not receiving text messages, if you're not receiving the emails, I highly suggest that you get on, because there's going to be a lot more community engagement. We had 3 this year, which help us get information for the economic development strategy. But we need to hear from you, because this is one community. And we are working to develop the flow of economics in our community, so we need your input. And as we get developing, you come in and say, well, I don't really think it's an excuse, because you can look and get the text messages, and get the emails, because we want your input. And now you can hear what we're doing and give feedback, so we can develop this city how we want to develop it, instead of just 1 or 2 people. I think that's very important. Okay, we also have a housing rehab program in progress for a total of $135 million investment. So I'm gonna break it down. So Manchester Place, that's 200 units for an investment of $20 million. They're about 50% complete. They're looking as a goal of May to be completely done with that. The Highland Park Housing Community, they got 8 buildings for a total of 160 units, and that's an investment of $35 million. They're about 85% complete. And we got 2 more big developments happening. The Gabriels, which is 336 units. That's a $70 million investment. And Highland Manor, which is 48 units. That's $10 million investment. So that's an investment in the city of Highland Park. So that's 744 total units for an investment of $135 million. I think that's pretty good. And a lot of these places house our seniors. So they're getting upgrades and they're being able to stay there. And over at Downs Manor, they're pretty happy. Also, so we talk about the building department. Year-to-date inspections, they've done 2,478 inspections and gave out 847 permits for a total of $314,155. They've got 492 certificates for a total of 80,950 right now. 51,650 has been paid with a remaining balance of 29,300. When you talk about certificates, you're talking about rental property registration, vacant property registration, the things necessary to secure and bring our housing stock back up. The planning department has seen 33 applications for a total of $27,530 in permits. Code enforcement, hundreds and hundreds of, tickets and violations. I mean, Malone out here working. We're targeting the larger structures. We want to clean up the business district. We, as a city, are looking to clean up our properties there also. Illegal dumping efforts. They were just talking BPW and code enforcement working real hard to get that together. I got to give a plug. Please, if you see anybody dumping, call the police right away. We've been doing a pretty good job. We've caught some people. We've been able to do some, but it's still rampant. It's still happening on a daily. One of my goals is to bring back the illegal dumping task force, but I'll get to that. Najee's been deed fraud and title action, vehicle ordinance violations. All these things are happening, and we hear you, right? So we get the calls about checklists and things like that. So the building department is in the process of updating all the applications to put checklists and just more information. If you want to file a complaint against some contractors, they'll show you how we got forms and information. It's all about making sure we're providing you the tools necessary to improve your quality of life. Coming to the end. Okay, so our current inventory of parcels, this is important. We, the City of Highland Park, own about 1,450 parcels. The county, around 3, the state, about 3. So you're looking at over 2,000 properties that's publicly owned, right? Our city only has a little over 6,000 parcels. So you're talking about a third of the city being publicly owned. What does that mean? That means we're not collecting taxes. That means we are paying all of those water bills, and it's tough to grow because, again, we operate off of a tax base, right? But if we take a look at it, we're still here. We're still in a good position. As we develop and sell properties and build this out, it's only up. So I look at this as an opportunity. So I got to make sure that I, let people know what we're working with. So city services can improve. Everything can improve as we get to selling properties and bringing in development. Okay, so my goals for the fiscal year is to complete the online application process with payment system, decrease publicly owned inventory by 20%, which is about 400 parcels, increase city's green space through parks and rec inventory, strengthen the nuisance abatement efforts, reestablish the Historic Commission, reestablish the Illegal Dumping Task Force, research and apply for more targeted grant opportunities, begin city inventory and property assessment updates, the master plan, zoning ordinance, and increasing the TIFA boundary. So I've just got a quick practical example of what 440 properties can look like being sold and developed. So you're talking 20% of it, 400 parcels, this at an average of like $2,500 a year in taxes. You're talking about increasing our operating budget by over $1 million. That's just 400 properties. It attaches to the water bill because now we decrease what we pay as a city, right? So all of this helps every department. You're talking about more households. That means more children. That means the school board and the school district can grow. But all of these things have to work together. So these are the things that we're looking to do. We got a great team. I'm excited about what's to come. Thank you.
And lastly, we have the water department.
All right. Good evening. Good evening. Damon Garrett, Water Director. So I'm going to try to stay on task here and go with the presentation, but it's been a lot that's happened. So I kind of want to summarize. This year has been somewhat of in my opinion, a historic year for the city. And the reason I say that is because some of the construction that we just finished on the master meters has been a long time coming. So we haven't been able to measure the water accurately since the plant closed in 2012. So that's 13 years ago. So as of October 15th, the last meter was installed, the last master meter was installed in the ground, and that allows us to measure our water use accurately, which was the basis of the lawsuit that we were in for over 10 years. So that is pretty historic in my opinion. Also, we've had the whole city tore up everywhere, right? So, which has been good and bad, right? And we've heard it from the residents about some of the things that haven't been going so well. But with the amount of construction that we've had, road construction, potholes repair, we've had to enter a lot of homes for these lead service lines. It's been painful for some of the residents, right? So I wanted to acknowledge that. I know we had a call last week. We had a virtual call last week, and we heard about it. So I want people to know that we got those concerns about coming into people's homes. It's all kind of things about notification of construction when it's happening, cars on the street, dust everywhere. We hear that. So I wanted everybody to know that we have received those complaints, and we haven't had as much construction this year ever in the city. So with that, we got some things we got to fix. So we just hit it head on. We're not gonna hide from it. We're saying it's not perfect. We did try this year to do a much better job of public outreach. We had 2 town halls, water town halls, 2 just straight water, so not like a little segment like this, but just all water. We had one in the spring at the fire department. We had another one recently, and then we had the virtual event that was a couple weeks ago. So, and then this week we had Ask the Director, which I was on with Lakeisha earlier in the week for an hour, just taking questions and talking about all things water. So, we got a lot going on, but we're trying to improve on our communication, our public outreach. So, though that's the most that we've ever done as far as having just water town halls. So now that's kind of a summary. I'm going to get into a couple things. Some of all that construction that we've been talking about, we've had 3 water main projects. One that we call the 2023 water main project, which was the water main on John R., the water main on Brush, so this is south of the Davison, down to Tennyson, and then the water main on Tennyson from Woodward to Oakland. So that was part of what we call the FY23 water main project. So, and along with that project, we were replacing 87 lead service lines. So that was one project that was going on. So a little bit of everything. We got complaints about the holes. That was most of that was directional drills. So, you dig a hole in a couple spots and you pull the pipe back through. So you had a lot of potholes everywhere. You had sidewalks in bad shape. Some of that restoration is complete. Some of it will have to be done in the spring. So that was one of the main water projects that we had going on. Second water main project that started not too long ago, we call the FY 2024 project. So that's about, there's 4 phases to that project. So we've completed about 2.6 miles so far, and we've completed 73 lead service lines to date on that project through mid-October. So that project is got another 5 miles-ish that's going to happen next year, but we've already had 2.5 complete. So we had both of those projects going on at the same time, as well as the master meter project that was going on at the same time. And some people might remember we had probably our worst rash of water main breaks in, let's say, late April through June. We've been here since 16. We never had a boil water alert. We had 3 of them in the span of about 6 weeks, which that was a big deal. The reason why that was happening is because we had all those projects going on. We had a lot of valves isolated to do that construction. So we had the water pressure all over the place. It had really low in some areas, high in other areas, which caused a lot of water main breaks. But since we've gotten those master meter projects complete, it's gone back to business as usual. So that was a really stressful time, but I'm glad that that's done. So that's the 2024 project. And this master meter project is truly historical project, and I just want to talk about why. So when the plant shut down, the city's usage was about 2.2 million gallons a day, okay? So that was going on while the city had the plant in operation. Well, when we got on emergency water and started purchasing water from GLWA, from the Great Lakes Water Authority, all of a sudden, Highland Park is now using 3.25 million gallons a day. 3.25, okay? I just told you we had the plant, it was 2.2. That was about 2018. Then, in 2011, they lowered it down to 2.11, okay? So basically took us back to where we were in 2012. So in 2021, we went down to 2.1, and we were at 2.2 in 2012. Now, remind you, the population of the city was still declining, right? So we weren't increasing. So we, that spike to 3.25 was kind of a big deal. We got the settlement agreement done back in 2023, and then they agreed to have Highland Park's usage at 1.58. Okay, so we were at 2.2 in 2012. We went up to 3. We came back to 2, and then they agreed that we were at 1.58. So why I talk about those master meters being historic, because right now we are metered and we are using about 0.921. Finally. So that's historic. So what does that mean? Well, the bill, right? Everybody despises the bill, the big bill, right, that you get. So what we're doing right now is we are in the process of renegotiating our usage. So that usage that's coming through the meter since July, we are now negotiating that to get into our contract so that we can have the savings give back to the community, so what it should be. So everybody's been talking about how high the bill is and this, that, and the other. Well, now we have actual meter readings for water, so now we can go back to them and say, we have a contract with you now. We need to see some relief in the bill, right? So once we get relief in the bill that they send us, we will be able to do some different things with rates and pass that along to the city. So that's why it's truly historic. So that, to me, that's a big deal. Okay, so what's important about that is, so the bill right now is like $6 million, like $1 million for water-ish and $5 million for sewer. So all that time and all this time that we've been talking about the water, but it was almost like a distraction, right? Because the water is a small portion of the bill. The big portion of the bill is the sewer. That's the big boy. That's 85% of the charges that we receive, okay? So now what I want to talk about is we've got sewer meters in the ground as well. So we have sewer meters in manholes in the ground in 19 locations. And why is that important? Because we are measuring the amount of sewage and rainwater, because everybody hates the drainage part of the bill. What's the drainage part of the bill? Okay, so we have a combined sewer system. And that sewer, that runoff gets into the ground, runs into these large sewers, and goes down to GLWA. Okay, so we're also measuring that now as well, and we are also having discussions with them about reducing the volume. So let me give you some perspective. Right now they say that 5 million gallons of sewage and drainage leaves the city on a daily basis. Our meters are saying it's more like 2.9. Okay, so not half, but that's big, and the savings is about $1 million per million gallons. So if you understand it's 5.25 and we go down to 3, that's about $2.5 million, right? So you see the $2.5 million for the sewer, and then you see the little $500,000 over here for the water, right? So that's what we're doing right now in dealing with them and getting them to acknowledge that. So when I say historic, those are things that are historic in my mind. And we have some other things going on here at the rec center. And Sue kind of mentioned this, the parking lot over here on Pitkin is going to get done over in the spring. We're putting some permeable pavement here on the outside of the building to go from that parking lot over here to the field. That's part of this state high water infrastructure grant that the city received. And they just mobilized in this month, but that's slated to be done in 2026. So it'll be a new parking lot out here and some permeable pavement connecting the parking lot to the field adjacent to the Joe Louis Greenway. So that's a pretty cool thing that's happening. In the engineering department, next year we got a couple of road projects that are going to happen. Glendale is going to be done between Woodward and Hamilton. That's a $1.1 million project. I know a lot of people say, why you do Glendale, why you do Oakland. Well, the funding available is on what they call Class A roads, so those roads have to have a certain amount of traffic on them in order for the city to receive funding. So it's not that we're neglecting the rest of the roads that are in dire need of repair. It's just we don't have a funding source that's readily available to address those local roads right now. We'll also be doing Manchester next year between Woodward and Oakland. So right there, that little stretch there, that'll be done over. That's a $900,000 project. So next year in 2026, $2 million of road improvements come into Highland Park along with the water stuff that's happening. So that's pretty good, and we should, moving forward, since we're getting all this water main addressed, we can start addressing the roads as well. So, I mean, we got about 30% of the water mains going to be replaced. So that means we can fall back now and start cleaning up some of these streets and getting those paved. Other things, we haven't had that many plan reviews, but with all the activity that Carlton was talking about, we should be seeing more engineering plans to come in for us to review. To date, we issued about 17 right-of-way permits. And some other things that we're doing is we are working with DPW on sinkhole repairs, hired a contractor, Century Cement, to complete several locations around the city. That's about $250,000 of repairs for areas they're much needed with sinkholes around the city. And we continue to work with Mr. Burgess on helping him implement some programs for street maintenance. So a lot of stuff going on in the city this year, a lot slated for next year. We're working tirelessly on trying to get this bill reduced so that when June comes around and it's rate setting time, that we can actually have a reduction instead of an increase. So that's kind of where we are. So thank you very much.
So I'm going to bring Madam Mayor back up.
Ooh, I know y'all been sitting a long time. Usually I'm an educator, so usually if you need to stand up and stretch a little bit, you can. We're getting ready to close, and after we have our Q&A. So I hope you've heard some very good things happening in the city. I know a lot of people say, well, it doesn't look like it, but a lot of things goes on behind the scenes that we have to continue to negotiate before those things are brought to the citizens. You can't put out stuff until you know that it's certain. You can't put out stuff until it's been looked at by legal. So these are some of the things that we are starting on and finishing up. And I'm looking for the next year to be even more promising. So spread the word with your neighbors. Make sure that you let them know that the city is moving forward. We're a city in motion, and we're going to keep moving forward until at which time we are at a place that everybody will be proud of again. I see some improvements. I see some things happening, and I'm hoping that you all are too. I want to make sure that I just give a couple of minutes, I'm sorry, to our state rep and our state senator, because they've had a very important part of this water deal, especially Ms. Stephanie Chang, who has been a warrior for us. And State Phillips, State Rep Myers Phillips, she came in and she's jumped in to the race. Trust me, I get a lot of emails from them, and we are in a lot of communication together about certain things, trying to make sure that we continue. And they did give us some good news at their town hall, that monies have been set aside for Highland Park for roads and some other things. And so this is good. Everybody thinks stuff's supposed to happen overnight, but you have to wait on it. You have to make sure that we get it. Nothing is done overnight, but it's going to continue to grow, and we're going to continue to do the work that we are getting funds for. So I thank you guys. I seen you shake your head like, nope, no, I don't want to come here. I thank you all. I thank you for the partnership. I thank you for your hard work. I thank you for being available whenever we call. I thank all of the citizens who have, joined in to help us and not criticize. I appreciate that. This work takes time. I appreciate my water warriors, whoever out here who go to Lansing or send letters or hold conversations. I appreciate everybody that even send me an inbox telling me what's going on, telling me how I can get, can you help me with this? Communication is important. You can always find me on Facebook and reach out to me in the inbox. If you see something, say something. They said that. See something, say something. Don't be afraid to speak up. This is how we change Highland Park. If you're not saying anything about it, then we don't know about it until we run across it. So please, speak up. I appreciate all of those who text me and say, hey, this is happening over here. Can you get this person? Or did you see this? Or can they do this? That's important. So I'm going to bring back up to Shima, and we have a few questions, and she's going to read them off, and the person they are for will get a chance to come up and answer. We're going to end in a little bit. You know me, I'm a stickler for time. We start on time, I like to finish on time. We're running a little bit over, which is like making me nervous. So I'm going to bring Tashima back up, and she can start reading the questions.
First, what is the city responsibility to the community to remove squatters from the home if the owner is absentee?
It's not the city's responsibility. It is a private matter between the owner and the squatter. The owner's got to file suit in district court to get them evicted, and then once the court process goes through, a court officer can serve a notice of eviction and remove the squatters and the individuals from the residence. The city can't, it's not city-owned property, so the city can't do anything about it. It has to be a personal matter. The city can cite, for example, if the property should not be, if the property is condemned or it's unoccupiable, the city can ticket, okay? And the city can make the owner accountable to respond to the ticket. That's a civil infraction. But if the house is in good shape and people are in there that shouldn't be in there, the city's hands are tied in that regard. And I'm sorry that that's not the answer that you're looking for, but under the law, the only people that can evict those people are the owners, not the city, unless there was some other matter that the city could hang its hat on to cite the owner to help get rid of the squatters.
We're going to use the cards, please, because we're going to run over time. So if you had a question and you put it on the card, we're going to read that one and then we're going to go from there.
Well, technically, aren't they breaking and entering if they're in a place that they don't own?
You have to use the card, Bishop.
Let's,
It's a law. I mean, if they broke into it, but how do we prove that? Because of the simple fact that if the owner is not saying that my house was broken into, then it's not a crime committed. The owner of the property must file something to say, these people have broke into my house, and the law is that they have to go to court and have them evicted. That's the law. We can't circumvent the law. Because what happens, the city gets sued over and over again for those kind of things. We become liable, which means we spend your money on lawyers and whatever else to prevent, to defend these things. So it is it's out of our hands if it is a privately owned partial. Now, again, if the owner goes to the police and say something, I got it. If the owner goes to the police department and filed a breaking and entering, and they investigate it, and they find out that they did actually break into the house, then that's something different. That is what a part of a criminal case. This is a civil matter at this moment, and the owner has to take action against those people who have occupied their property. That's the law.
Okay, I just, my thought is if she's my neighbor, and I know she owns the house, and I see some people living in there, and I call the police should come out, ask them for their identification, see that they don't live there, and they can arrest them. Because if I break in one of those businesses over there, the police ain't gonna ask the owner if I'm there. If I'm in there and I'm not lawfully in there, then they're gonna take me out there
Well,
and take me
who
to jail.
determines if they're lawfully in there? Because if the owner is not saying they're not lawfully in there, I mean, you know what I'm saying, unlawfully.
okay, moving along. What would the city be doing with the vacant HUD homes in the neighborhoods?
Yep. HUD will be handling those. I know they are about to do some selling, and they're going to post it, and HUD will be handling that 100%. So there is a process, and I agree with you. They did start the process. I understand that, but there is the process, and they have been working with Officer Malone to evict some of the folks that have been there, because we do meet regularly about this. So now, as we're doing cutting caps and preparing for demo and preparing for property sale, more activity is happening. So the code enforcement officer, along with the people that's representing HUD, have been going out They have started the eviction process, and the demolition should be coming pretty soon.
Next is, when will the next block be granted streetlights?
You can take that? Okay, I'll take it. So we have, we have entered into, we're working with Solidarity and Solartronic to get ready to put those lights in the spring. There has not been a decision made of where they would go. It's 50 total. It doesn't mean that every street in Highland Park will get one. It's 50. It doesn't mean that all of them will be placed on a street, on one street. We're going to be working with them to decide where those lights will be, if it goes into quadrants, or if it will go just to the first few streets of the city, maybe about 5 streets or whatever it is. We're getting ready to start our meetings with them. They were just approved last month. So now it's time to sit down with them and come up with a plan of where those lights will be placed. I want people to understand, it's 50. 50 lights. Sounds like it would go somewhere throughout the city, but you have to remember, over 1,000 lights, 1,400 lights was taken out of the city. 1,400. And it means that that does not mean that every street in Highland Park will get a light out of these 50s. So please, we're working towards as many as we can get at whatever time we can. We're sitting down with different organizations, different companies, trying to find out who is willing to work with us to get some lights put back in. But at this time, it's 50. And so we will be looking at it. I think, Damon, we just talked about, and I'll pass it to him, what dates we're going to be looking to sit down with the companies, and then we'll start working on the plan.
Just to add to that, there is only 50 that are funded right now, but we do have a plan of where all the lights will go in the city. So there's a master plan that shows where all the lights would potentially be if we had the funding to do all of it right now. So it's not, I want people to know that we do have a map out there, and we will be, as the mayor put it, we will be assisting the city to look for funds to get as many lights as possible. I mean, we have to be careful. The reason that we don't have the lights is because we couldn't afford the lights at the rates that we were being charged, right? So these 50 lights that are going in are solar. So they're slightly on a different financial scale, but these lights are not cheap, okay? You're looking at solar light being like $950 annually, $950 for one. So you put 50 lights in, it's 50,000. But what we're working through right now is what is called a pilot. This is being funded by a grant for 5 years. So city doesn't have to pay any expense for those 50 lights right now. So that gives us time to find funds to get additional lights. Now, as the mayor put there, other people are throwing their hats in the ring, and they want to help out, but it all comes down to dollar and cents. And we can't allow, we can't put in 300 lights because we can't afford 300 lights. So, some of this development that Carlton's talking about starts to come back. You can take those costs and you can disperse them over more, right? If we just put all lights in the city right now, it would be basically on the people who are in the city right now, which is about 50% vacant. So that we can't do that. So I just want people to know that we do have a plan out there. It's going to be a process. It's going to take a number of years, but we have to be physically responsible on those lights, because if the lights get in the ground, we want them to stay in the ground. Like we've been dark for a long time. We want to stay gradually getting lit to where we're completely lit. So those conversations are happening, but we're trying to do that not to burden people with more bills.
What was that?
No. Next question.
The next question is, what is the city doing with the groups that try and bring free events to the city? What is the city doing with the groups that try to bring free events to the city?
Please, who in, okay, so when you're bringing private foundation programs to the city, first of all, the first thing is that the city has to be in partnership with you, which we are, but we also have to run the city. So at some point, we have to be able to run the city and not be it's the program that you have, like Rehab Highland Park, whoever you're pulling together, as the leaders on these things, it is your job to make sure that everyone knows and to call them together. Now, we can continue to utilize our spaces that we use, YouTube, whatever it is, and put out your information, but at the same time, the city still has to be ran. So it's whoever is sponsoring the programs, it will be their job to make sure that people know what is happening in the city and utilize the funds. We can help, and we can continue to do what we're doing now, utilizing all of our communications to make sure people know, but getting people to step up is going to be on the people who put that together, because as you know, in this time right now, it's very hard. It's very hard to get donations. It's very hard to get people involved. Everybody is really going through something, you know, and that's the issue as we speak right now. A lot of people have just said, I can't do it. So working together to make sure that, you know, our part is communication that we can help you with. We do not have a funding source to help with. We do not have a line item in our budget. We do not have most of the things that I put on or you see put on, I usually pay for. And that's real. I pay for. Or I try to get people to help. Or they help pay for. We put our monies together and try to do what we can. And that's where we are right now. There is no funds in the city for activities. The music thing that we put on out here, Miss Sue, myself, a couple of other people who, Mr. Karan Wilkerson and Miss Famika Robbins, we paid for that ourselves. Because, it's not a brag, it's not a boast, it's the reality of the city. We do not have the funding right now, because just what they said, we own 50% almost of our city, which means that's 50% less economics, less funding to go into the city. If you own your own city, you're not prospering. That's why it's important that we sell these properties and get them out of our hands. I've been saying this over and over and over again for 3 years. In order for the city to move forward, we have to let go of these properties and allow some people to come and buy them. Whether it's people that live here, people that live outside the city, we have to let them go. Because if not, we're going to continue to have 6 people in DPW. You know, we're going to continue to have 1 person in HR. We're going to continue to have 1 person in finance. Well, she has some contractors, but one person that acts. We're going to continue to have that. We cannot operate like that. And so if you want to see, as you know, the parade used to be in part of the city, but that he had to let that go because we did not have the funding for it. And thank you all for taking that over. But in order for the city to come together, in order for us to do what we need to do to move things forward, Carlton gave you the numbers. If we sell 400 properties, that's $1 million extra in revenue for this city. And that $1 million can be used to hire more DPW, more police, more whoever, use some of the funding to help with certain things. But until that happens, we are at where we are. And we're grateful that we're now in the black. Not a lot in the black, but we're definitely teetering over on the other side.
Next question, do we have any ordinance for or against tiny home developments?
No, we don't have an ordinance that supports it, but like I said, we are looking at updating our zoning ordinance. All our ordinances are pretty old, so what you think, Donovan? Pardon me? Okay, yeah. So Donovan and his team is doing a diagnostic of the zoning ordinance, and we look to bring a new zoning ordinance that will allow for more new conventional developments.
And then where can we recycle plastic bottles, glasses, and cardboard, etc.? DPW.
You can bring. You can bring. Hello, hello. You can bring them down to the yard, or you can either get a recycling bin to put them in, and they will pick them up. We have a yard at 14200 DeQuindo where you can come and dump and bring your recycling down there, cardboards, or either your the junk scrap that you have.
Next.
14200 DeQuindo. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. All you need is an ID saying that you're living in, showing that you're living in Highland Park.
And quite a few people asked for your contact information. Can you give that to them as well?
Yes, I will give it to you. You ready?
Whoever asked, we got quite a few people that asked for DPW contact information.
313-347-3867. Kim is my name. Yeah. 3867.
And then the next question will be, what is being done about the no parking signs in the city?
The no parking sign in the city, we are working on that. I have some coming in, and we will be putting them up.
Can't read that writing. Carlton, can you give your information as well? Somebody asked for the input as far as the participation in the engagement projects and events.
313-252-0050, extension 255. 0050, extension 255. Extension 255. You say the website? The City of Highland Park's website, there is a link where you can put in your information and receive text messages and emails. And Lakeisha sends out daily messages about what's going on in the city. And you can check our website. She does a pretty good job updating the website with meeting notices.
And then our last question is going to be, when would the Greenway be completed?
Spring of 26. Summer of 26.
You have not received that grant yet. So that is what, 27, Damon?
What?
Oakland.
Oakland's 27.
It's in 27.
North End's 27, yeah.
27, yes.
So that concludes our Q&A. If you have any other questions, you can call the City of Highland Park and we will get back to you. And you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you guys for coming out.